Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews. My name is Isaiah, and I got something that's pretty special to show you guys today. And I think that you can purchase this right now pretty cheap, but if you wait too long into the holiday season, I don't think it's going to be that cheap anymore. It's kind of old-ish, but it's still pretty valuable to a big franchise. And what it is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Captain Edward Kenway 18-inch figurine that I'm about to unbox, and we'll kind of really comb it over, look it over, and you can judge for yourself if you think it's worth the $32.90. That's not bad, so let's check it out and see if it is worth that or not. Alright, so open the box. I can see there's not much to it, and it kind of sits loose in a box that may be a little bit too big for it, I think. So, and then it's like pieces of this kind of paper here, like cardboard paper, almost real thick and gritty paper. So I hope that doesn't scratch into it. Now, I'm not taking this out of the box, period. I wanted to do it here so we could experience whatever's wrong with it or whatever's not wrong with it together. So let's pull this thing out. Alright, so the box is really flimsy and cheap, and it did come with this piece of paper, which they spared no expense in making anything to transport this to me. I can tell that already. The paper's real thin and cheap. This plastic's the cheaper type of plastic that I find in like cheap things. The box doesn't really fit this. A graph on how to put this thing together. It's not too hard, but we'll figure it out. I think this is in two pieces, and this backside slides out. God, this is really cheap plastic. I mean, I'm trying to get this tape off, and the plastic's just ripping and tearing in half. And it's 4 pieces of tape holding this back piece on up into this top piece, which has the main figurine to it. Pull out his pedestal that he stands on, and then part of the flag and the little rope thing. Alright, so we got wire ties, which are really nice. I really love the wire ties a lot better than the zip ties, because zip ties, these wire ties have like, it's plastic, but it kind of is a little more forgiving up against paint, it seems like. But zip ties, sometimes they get too tight, and it can wear a spot in the paint. Plus, they're kind of a pain to cut away. So there was 3 wire ties holding the base that he stands on in. Got the flag out, and here's the base, and it does have a engraved description underneath, which is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and it does have Ubisoft stamped underneath. So maybe this is of course this would have to be an official licensed product, I'm assuming. I think this will fit right into this guy. So this feels kind of tight putting this in, so I'm gonna kind of not force this in right now until I can get the flag, and then kind of get the figure next to it, and then I can really ratchet down on it to get the angle right, because it does kind of tilt a little bit. So I have a feeling once I get it seated all the way down in there, it's going to kind of like have a permanent hold in there. It's going to be really hard to twist and turn because it's already 3/4 of the way in, and it's getting a little difficult to turn. So you might want to watch that. Alright, now I'm going to stick the flag in, and it's kind of got a key pattern to it that fits down into there. I don't know if you can see the little square spots here and here, and then that kind of matches and fits right down in there. Alright, so I really bared down hard and got that thing in there. So far, this thing looks pretty massive, so I can't wait to get the figurine out. I still got one more piece here. So here's a rope that comes with it, and it's already got a loop in it right there, so we'll figure out, I guess, where this goes here in a little bit. Figurine, it has 1 wire tie in the back, and it looks like the sword is got a couple pieces of tape on it. This was really simple coming out of this, and I want to kind of look this over and see if I can see any spots on here that may rub in shipping, or see any kind of paint that may be rubbed in some of the corners that fit into this mold And I don't see anything at all that has paint coming off of it, so that's a good thing. All right, so the little sword comes wrapped in plastic and actually sealed in plastic, which is kind of cool. Not bad. The sword is actually straight and not bent, which I don't think anybody wants a bent sword. Okay, so I'm assuming I'm going up into the... I'm a guy. I don't read directions too much. I don't like looking at direction because half the battle, half the fun is trying to figure out what goes where, and then you feel like you've accomplished something when you didn't have to look at a piece of paper to figure it out. I'll probably end up looking at a piece of paper to figure it out. All right, so I kind of got it in there, and I do suggest not ratcheting this down into this base all the way until you're satisfied with the positioning of the flag. He moves quite well and sticks into this base really well. He's not really, nothing's really moving and wobbling very much, and I'm very, very much intrigued at how they're able to sell it at the price point that they are, and it has this good a look. But we'll look at it a lot closer here in just a little while. But right now we're going to try to get the positioning right and all that kind of stuff and work that out, and then we'll dive into a good look. All right, so I'm going to put the sword in his hand, and if you want to know what I'm looking at, I'm actually looking at the Amazon picture from where I bought it to try and figure out, make sure I get the sword in the right spot. Okay, cool. So the sword, this little handle piece here, actually, once you get his hand around and slid into his hand, it actually moves and comes up and then pins in place so his hand won't slide out of it. It'll you see what I'm talking about? That's not bad. It's a pretty cool idea. All right, so I think I got it in the right position. I'll try to hold this out. This thing's pretty good size. So I think I got it in the way that the illustration on the paper looks. And I kind of followed that with how I swerved him around or swiveled him around to get him. Because on the photo, it has the knife coming in between the beam or the pole and the flag. And on the Amazon photo, it's a little different. But this makes more sense because if I did it like the Amazon photo, it kind of wobbled to one side. It could tilt over because it's kind of, I don't know, off base a little bit. But this seems to be pretty sturdy and not really moving. The weight's not more to one side and whatever. Now I got to put the rope on somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. All right, so I took that little loop out, and I'm going to try to do it like the photo says and see how this turns out. It's probably going to look a mess, but we'll see. All right, so nobody breathe. I've got it kind of tied down some sort of way, but the rope makes this thing look so three-dimensional, kind of brings more life into it actually being like a real rope. Man, it makes it. I mean, this was a little effort putting it together, but man, I gotta say, for right now, it looks pretty good. But let's kind of walk you through it, and you can be the judge on whether or not you would want to get it, because I think you need to jump on it. Okay, so here's the figure as it stands overall. Now, it's about 18 inches or so tall. As you can see, I've tried to position it as best I can and tried to tie that rope as best as I could. But I think I've kind of nailed what they were going for, because you kind of got a lot of freedom and play to move it how you want to, which is nice. But the rope kind of got a one-way streak there. But overall, as you can see, it's kind of got that tilted angle to it. But, I mean, I think it works for exactly what it's supposed to represent, and does a pretty good job about it, too. Alright, the flag kind of actually looks like some kind of fabric and kind of feels like some kind of pressed fabric, and you can see the tips there, how they kind of taper down to these ragged edges and points, and looks pretty good to me. And there's no paint carryover from that symbol over into anything else, so it's kind of separated and dominant on that flag, which looks really good. And that pole over there looks good too, the flag pole. I mean, you can see the wood grains and that little rope there, which is actually a solid piece. Looks pretty good. And you can see sort of his hand in the sword there. Now that bottom of that sword, like I said earlier, pops in to kind of keep it in his hand. You can see his hood there. It looks really well. There's nothing that bleeds over, and paint-wise, they're actually individual layered, like pieces of plastic almost, it feels like, in there. And you can see quite a bit of hair up underneath the hood, which I'm not showing you, but it's there. And you can see the pole's background. The rope that I thread through there and was successful, I feel. You can see his guns there. Everything looks quite well. His shoulder, that leather right in there around his elbow looks good. The jacket looks good. You can actually see that white shirt up underneath there, which is nice. I mean, they've kind of went above and beyond for the price point, I feel. And you can kind of see the darker areas there in that leather jacket, which looks really nice. And the back there's got the buttons, which look really good. Like sometimes I see buttons with the paint on them that kind of carry over a little bit into a jacket or something like that, but they kind of individualize themselves along that jacket. Looks good, and in that bolt, and the hardware on the pole looks good. The fabric underneath this jacket really stands out well. You can see the ruffles on the hand, looks good. It's the skin's glossy, kind of sweaty looking, which I think is good. I think it fits the look of that to me. And the knee there, it looks like sprayed, speckled on paint, but that's actually like a dirty look on purpose. And you can see the skulls there and the guns. Everything looks kind of good. I mean, it's layered out really well, and everything looks individualized and separate, which looks nice. You see my little rope underneath the hill. I think that looks awesome. And here you can see the jacket kind of flail out in the wind, and pieces of his clothing kind of come out there, and it looks really good. I'm looking at the tips here trying to find fault in some of the paint and stuff, because sometimes you can catch things there in the ends, but I'm satisfied with that because that kind of actually looks like a little wear, and you can even see the little threads through there on the tips, which is pretty nice. And then there's a part of that pole there, that wood look carrying on. That's my little tie job there, you can see. Not too bad. I think I may have to glue that where I tied that at up there. The boots, I think they look really well. I mean, they kind of got a plasticky look. I don't know if it's even a word, but the plastic style look to them almost. But I don't know if they're going for kind of like that wet wood look, and they just wanted to carry it over to the boot. But I think it works for me. I'm not going to be so picky. And I also thought it was an awesome touch how that rope goes up underneath that shoe like that. That's awesome. And also you can't see the peg in his shoe there going down into the platform, which is great. Here's a little bit more of that base, because I just want you to see that bolt there that kind of goes in there. I thought that's pretty cool. It's kind of got that rusty look around all the bolts at the base. And in the platform he's standing on, it's kind of got a wet look to it, kind of like that you would expect in the situation that the character's in and stuff. I would kind of want that slick, worn wood look. And I think they really do a good job with his face. He's got a good stern look. He's got determination in his face. And I think they went into a little bit more detail than they even had to for up underneath that hood. And you could even see a little hair back in there behind the hoodie that they probably didn't have to put there and did. So overall, I'm pleased with the way it looks, especially for the money. Alright guys, so this has been the review and unboxing of the figurine that comes in the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Limited Edition set. You can get this individually off Amazon, eBay, just to name a couple places that I know of. Now I think the stock of these are dwindling down, so if you kind of want it, you probably better get it, especially at a $30 price tag. I think it's well worth that. So this has been Isaiah's Reviews. Please like and subscribe, and watch all my other videos. We'll see you later. People of Earth, like and subscribe to me. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Isaiah746, please. Oh, hey. Sorry, hey. Didn't mean to scare you. Hey.